Woodward Sports app and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
And welcome to Big D Energy. The golden voice, Neil Rule, is out on the golf course today with the Pistons brass, which I'm not saying I'm spiteful. A little bit jealous, though. A little bit jealous that Neil Rule is out there golfing today. Big D. But we're here joined by four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty. My name is Stick. I'm going to be here for the next 2 hours. Flannel Sam is over there. And then, of course, Spenmo Rax over in the TD booth. D-Mac, speaking of golf, I was just checking your social media. You gave Fish damn near a heart attack today. He saw you down at the Detroit Rocket Mortgage Classic, and he's like, there's just no way a guy goes down there and checks it out and is going to be able to make the show. He's like, no one goes down there for just an hour. But what were you down there doing, and how was it? 2 hours.
I was there at the butt crack of dawn and stuff. And by the way, I apologize. I see Nicholas and Dabber and at the conversation before the show going on, you guys are talking about chicken wings and all that stuff. Well, I was just finishing a cookie from the Birmingham Roast because that's what I had for breakfast because I was up early down at the golf course at the Detroit Golf Club, right in the heart of the city. It's nice to see the city come alive. Anybody who's from the area knows it's between 7 and 8 mile. There's 6 and 7 mile, actually, in the heart of the city. And its own, like, over the past, since 19, 20, 21, so this is the fourth year of it, Stick.
Yep.
The city that they build inside this golf course by all the bleachers and all the suites and different things like that, it's amazing. I'll be back out there on Saturday.
Okay.
I'll be at between 1 and 3. I'll be in the 17th hole, cabana-ish, saying hello, taking some pictures and stuff like this. But I loved it. So I was out there. I wanted to see Tony Finau, and he played one of the first times off, so I got to see him absolutely demolish a golf ball and be up there near the lead. And then a guy that I like to, if you haven't noticed, sort of adopt different up-and-comers' passions. And back in 2016, I was able to play with Grayson Sigg, who finished 7th last week on the 3M Tour. It's his first year on the PGA Tour. Maybe it was 2017. But anyways, the Mackenzie Tour, which is a Canadian tour, so to watch guys, I've been following him along, so to watch him pipe it off one, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
A lot of storylines to different guys. Our boy Donnie Trosper out there trying to grind it away. So, yeah, it's just awesome. And to me, if you're a golfer and you know Detroit Golf Club, it's amazing to me the numbers that these guys put up. It just goes to show you to be able to putt on these greens because they're not the easiest greens. There's a lot of breaks in them and stuff, but watching these guys just roll it in like it's nobody's business shows you why they're the pros that they are.
Yeah, it is amazing when you actually go out and play golf and then you watch professional golfers and realize just you're not even close to that skill set. And you know, you gain a new respect for the game, honestly, when you watch these guys do the things that they do, because it is miraculous what they do on that course. And I got an interesting story about the Detroit Golf Club. I actually almost lived on the Detroit Golf Club, like on the course. This was about 4 years ago. I put in an offer on a house on Pontchartrain right there. Yep. It backed up, like my window in the kitchen would have looked over the golf course and looked to the University of Detroit with the clock tower. So I go through it with the bank and all that. I put, they approved the loan. We're all good. And shout out to Couch Cam and what's going on in the background today. And thanks for distracting me, Spence. You son of a. But either way, we go through this with the bank, and the bank needs certain things in the house to approve the loan, and it's got to have heat in it. So there is no heater in there, so they have to put in a new radiator. That's part of our negotiation. Once you put in the new radiator, then I'll buy the house, right? So they put in a brand new radiator, all new heating system in the house. Somebody breaks in, rips out all of the radiators, floods the entire floor, and it was original, like 1905 marble flooring and everything. Like, this is a really nice house, and they destroyed the house. So I had to pull my offer, and now I no longer live on Detroit Golf Course. But we could have had a party in my backyard and watch the golf, but no, some hooligans had to break in and screw it all up, and now the house is off the market and now selling for like $300,000 more than I was going to buy it.
I like my Detroit golf story better than yours. Yeah. Any thoughts, Sam Flannel, about the PGA guys in town? Will you peruse? Is there any interest because it's happening in the city, or?
I mean, I can acknowledge how cool it is for the city to have the Rocket Mortgage Classic. I'm not much of a golf guy, but for Detroit, I will definitely root for it, and I'll tap in. I will.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not feeling as big of a buzz as last year around this because, there's not the marquee Phil Mickelson's playing this year, but there's a lot of excellent golfers playing this year. Nick Leach is out there with lipping putts.
It's a solid field,
yes.
right, of really good golfers. So they're going to tear this golf course up, probably shoot, 17 to 21 under. Over 4 rounds, but it's going to be competitive. And if you get a chance to go out, just the atmosphere, right? The atmosphere. And there's a lot of different, amenities and different, there's mulligans out there and all that different stuff for everybody to enjoy whatever they want.
Yeah, it's such a cool thing for the city, and I hope. Do you want it to evolve into what the Waste Management Tour is in Phoenix? We have that one hole that's just a crazy party hole.
Warwick has the 17th hole, which is the par 3 up in Grand Blanc, that gets a little raucous or whatever. I think the big thing is the 3-1-3 zone. I think what I would like is it to become a stalwart tournament in the rotation, because what it does outside of the golf tournament for what Rocket Mortgage has raised and been able to give that digital divide. So the internet, and it's so important for the city. So what it brings back into the city, we're looking forward to Super Bowl draft in a few years and stuff like this. But this is to be down there, Stick. I guess when you're down there, maybe you could see the gravity of the community involvement, because all the big companies are down there. Everybody's showing out. Everybody's doing that, and I think on a global scale, because we're not just talking United States here. We're talking golf's a global. So. Whatever exposes the city in the positive ways and the people doing the things to try to help each other and help the rest of the people in the city, I'm all for.
Well, that's what Mike Tirico was actually talking about, because I was watching an interview with him. I think he was on Channel 7 talking about he does a lot of golf around the country, around the world, and not many golf big events take place in a city. Right? It's normally in your Bloomfield Hills area or in the suburbs. So to have an event in the city, especially here in Detroit, it's so special.
Well, that was so important to Dan Gilbert too, right? When they brought it here and Rocket Mortgage brought it, is that he wanted it in the city. And I think it's proved that it can, maintain. I think for this tournament too, don't look at it like a U.S. Open. Don't look at it like anything else, but look at it like a tour stop where guys do want to come and play. Now, the big question is, you're losing different guys. I just saw Bubba Watson agreed to go to the Live Tour and stuff. So you're going to lose different names. But in that aspect, it gives different guys an opportunity to step up. So why not be it? Because in the bigger picture, it's about getting together and raising money for the city.
Right. And you said you're going back Saturday or Sunday?
I'll be back Saturday.
You'll be back Saturday. Do you have an extra ticket?
I do not.
I would love for you to take Fish.
I do not.
I would love, because Fish, to me, Fish and Nick Leach would enjoy that event more than anybody else.
There you go.
We should check in with Nick Leach.
If Fish wants to go, I'll find him. So
we'll hook him up.
I'll toss him over the fence, on the fence line in 12.
Just put him in your golf bag. We got this huge gypsy golf bag over here.
Pizza guys are behind the 12th, over by the 12th green and stuff like that. I'll just toss him over like a pizza.
That would be awesome. So yeah, the Rocket Mortgage Classic going on all weekend long. If you're going down there, make sure you take some pictures. Tag us in social media. We want to know about your experience down there as well. So it's at Woodward Sports. Make sure you're tagging us on everything. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this show. Corey Woods back at it again. Day 2 Lions training camp. So he is out in Allen Park giving us all the updates that you could possibly imagine. Like yesterday, I thought Corey did such an incredible job capturing everything from the start of training camp to the very last player walking off the field. He got great interviews. So if you really want to catch up on everything that's going on with our Detroit Lions and Cake Cam, you could do that right now at Corey E. Woods. He's getting everything up there, and make sure you follow us at Woodward Sports because Corey's doing a great job this year. And I don't know, did you see Dan Campbell show Corey Woods love yesterday?
Oh yeah, by the first 3 questions or whatever.
Yeah,
I said that
awesome.
when it was brought up. Absolutely, which shows you that I see you back. I see you putting your work in. I see you growing just like we have been. We're going to touch on some of the things that Dan Campbell said about getting through the hard times, and I think it's more of a testament to life than it is anything else, that times will get tough, but the tough persevere through. Tough times don't last. Tough people do, right?
That's true.
And then to be on the, I can speak of this, to be on the part of coming out the other side, right? And we're a prime example with the Red Wing organization. Less people forget because it's 25 years ago where we cracked that safe, and it wasn't a huge amount of time, but 42 years. So it was at the question point, Stick, do you remember back then? It was like, are you ever going to get there? So the fact to be able to do it to this day, living on to the legacy of what we brought back to the city. So Dan Campbell nailed it. He knows it. Everything.
Yeah. And we got that clip of what he's saying about not even restoring the roar, but just getting over the S.O.L. talk about the Detroit Lions. So we're gonna play that video coming up next.
I just sent Leach a number so we can get a live from the Rocket Mortgage. Nick
Is he gonna check in?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Whenever Leach is ready to bust in, let's do that.
Absolutely live. Well, let me take care of Eric. We'll get to that interview. Let me do the business right now. Regardless what the coach said, pretty much after you hear it, you're going to hear what I heard. Guardian alarm. Yeah, they keep you safe and give you peace of mind, just like the Detroit Lions are planning to do. Maybe not this year. Got to wait till the clock runs out. But they're going to be there for your local security experts, whether you're at home or on the road, 24/7, rate monitoring right from here. So if you want to be part of the Big D Energy Woodward Sports family, give them a call today, 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
God, I love it. How many straight days of flannel?
105.
105 of straight flannel protection. Guardian alarm, your local security experts. Give them a call. 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
Want you here.
Weekend's coming. Stick wishes that his Pontchartrain place had Guardian alarm.
Yeah, dude.
Moved into it now.
My God.
Woodward Sports. Be right back.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Big Frog, baby. Get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right. A free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. So just stop or hop, drop, and roll and tell them that we sent you, and they'll print you on one on the spot to go. So go to Big Frog Novi today. Get your free t-shirt or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
I knew that when I signed here as a player. And for me, it was one of the reasons I wanted to sign here is because, man, who doesn't want to come here and change that, to be part of that team that turns it around? Like, I think that's a motivating factor.
Here we are, day 2 of training camp at the Detroit Lions HQ here. You see me right there. I'm Corey Woods, the Woodward Sports Network. And you know how it always starts, Dan Campbell speaking to the media. So let's get right into it. Let's see what Dan Campbell had to say this morning.
I knew that when I signed here as a player. And for me, it was one of the reasons I wanted to sign here is because, man, who doesn't want to come here and change that, to be part of that team that turns it around? Like, I think that's a motivating factor. And so I think for all of us, coaches, players, am I answering your question? I cut you off. Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, I think it's a motivating factor, you know. I mean, look, we could go round and round in this, and you guys have lived it, but I think, you got to have, once you've gone through a great suffering, if you will, as it pertains to sports and Lions football, then, man, that's when there's a great triumph. And to be a part of that and to be able to help it become that is, man, that's something special. I mean, that is special. So, yeah, I think that motivates all of us a little bit here.
Now, make sure that you stay tuned to the Woodward Sports social media and my social media, Corey E. Woods on Twitter, that's with a K. And all throughout the day, I will be bringing you photos, videos, and all types of content emanating from Allen Park. Again, this is Corey Woods, the Woodward Sports Network, checking in with your Lions update.
As you said, that is Corey Woods, Corey with a K. So make sure you're following him and getting all the updates from him. He's really giving us a lot of great insight on what the Lions, where they're at head-wise going into this season. And last year, preseason, we got a little crazier Dan Campbell. It was more about setting the mindset, talking about biting kneecaps. He was kind of over the top on a lot of things. We haven't had that over-the-top moment yet in this preseason with Dan Campbell. And I don't think he needs to be that Dan Campbell anymore, right?
No, it's a maturation of your coach in front of your eyes, not only on the field, but off the field, and to what, he's coming in, and I know he was an interim coach before, but thinking he knows what he needs to do, and he's adjusting along the way. I think that everything he said there is so point on. It just snapped me back to watching Red Wing hockey when I was a kid over in Leamington when they sucked and they were the Dead Wings, and I was saying, wouldn't it be cool to play for them and bring the glory back to it? Because that's the same thing that he's saying. So a couple things you should take from that is not only your head coach has the awareness of your history, but he's played in this, and so if he's got the awareness, he makes it imperative in the locker room that they all know the history, whether the other teams they came from made it a point or not. No, this is what it's about. History's a big lineage thing. That's the big thing in the Red Wing locker room. That's what thing I talk about all the time. One of my first meeting with Dylan Larkin was his knowledge of the history like I did. It reminded me of me just knowing the stuff that you're not, if you didn't know it, it's okay.
Right.
You're not supposed to know it, but the fact that you do know it means that you're invested on a different level.
Well, and a little bit of
that's what he's trying to get from his players, because it's easy for me being the stepchild from across the border with my team. It's easy for Dylan and Waterford because that's your team. Getting other guys who this isn't their team, who they don't have that initial vested interest in, to buy into it. And that's what the culture, that's what the fan base, that's what all this is. But what cures that? Only winning cures that, and he knows that. But everything he said about the great triumph, 100%.
Yeah, and a lot of it to me, too, seems like he's got some unfinished business. With him coming here as a player, he addressed that. When I came here as a player, we wanted to change that. Obviously, they didn't. Those Dan Campbell teams were very, very, very bad here when he was in Detroit. Not all to do with Dan Campbell, obviously. He wasn't the major player in that. But when he came here, he wanted to fix that. He didn't do it as a player. Now he's here as a coach, and he's got the opportunity to not only do something amazing for this entire city, but also get some retribution for a job that I don't think he felt he initially completed the first time around, which is awesome. Any extra motivation that you need, I'll take it.
But it wasn't his...
It's not, but he's like me and you, though.
On the first time around coming here, why he signed here and realizing, so he got a taste of what the culture was and what the culture wasn't. So now as a head coach, he's sort of been here before. He's made that trip to Disney World 10 years ago, right? Before he had kids. Now he's married and has kids, right?
It's a different experience, right?
It's a different experience, but he's going to take from it. Right now he's got kids. Kids meaning the team. Before he didn't, so that puts you in a different place too, the responsibility. The other thing I like, right, is when Dan Campbell talks, it's not about me, it's about us, the coaches, everybody, the players, right?
Yep.
Leads back to the same philosophy is that we're all in this together, but Derek Lalonde said it with what he learned in Tampa Bay, is managers manage, coaches coach, and players play. And that's, we're all in it for the same. So I like what I'm hearing. I like what I'm seeing. Obviously, Corey's going to be on top of everything else there. And just gets me I'm just as excited today as I was yesterday.
Yeah, and you're right about the words that he uses when he talks about a team. And I actually posted something up on my social media yesterday about the difference between a boss and a leader. Like, a boss is an I guy. A leader is a we guy. A boss will point out what's wrong. A leader will help you fix it. And Dan Campbell checks all the leader boxes. And when you're leading men, you need to be that type of person, especially millionaire men who don't really need to look at you for money, need to look at you for anything like that. All they need out of you is the belief that you are going to lead them to the promised land, that they can put their faith in you, you will put your faith back in them, and that will lead to greatness on the field. And that's what I felt a little bit last year, and that's what I'm feeling a lot of it this year with the entire roster as they come in. And this is also what's going to be cool to see with Hard Knocks being there, because we're actually going to be able to pull back the curtain a little bit and see how real this is. Because if you talk to Braylon, who was on Hard Knocks, he says they don't fabricate stories. They don't do quick edits to try to fool you. They lay it all out there, and it is what it is. And that's why I cannot wait for Hard Knocks, because I have an assumption of what it's like, but now I get proof of what it's like.
Well, not only you do, or we do as Lions fans, everybody in the whole world sees. And you know what? Maybe that's what's going to scare everybody, just that it's not the same old Lions.
I didn't even think about that. Like, honestly, while the other teams are watching, like, oh man, these guys,
it's not the same old Lions.
Yeah, these guys got it together,
or getting it together.
Right.
I don't think it's got it together. I think it's working towards getting it together. It's just, are they on the right path? I believe they are. Do they have the right people in place? Time will tell. But and the whole thing is, yes, mistakes were made by everybody last year. It's don't make the same mistakes. I'm willing Dan Campbell's game time decisions, timeouts, all this stuff that he wasn't good at last year, he needs to improve on.
Yep.
But with seeing, like you mentioned before, not coming in talking about kneecaps, being overexcited, there's still this excitement to him, but it's more
business
reserved.
Yeah.
No, it's more reserved, but it's more calculated because he knows who he is, or he wants to be, and his team wants to be. You know what I'm saying? The worst thing is not knowing. Think about it, okay, for any of you golfers out there, right? The worst thing for a golfer is not knowing if you're hitting it right or you're hitting it left, right? If I hit it right all the time, at least I can take the whole left side of the golf course out of play, right? Everything goes right. That's what the golfers want. When you start hitting it both ways and you don't know, you're fazooled.
Spence, how you feeling about this? How you feeling about the same old Lions and us coming out of that drench that we've been in your entire lifetime?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely needs to happen, and it definitely feels different. This is something I haven't felt about the Lions, like you said, in my lifetime. And I think it starts from the top. It shows, Sheila making the competent move of firing Quintez midseason, bring in a guy who knows what he's doing in Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes making great moves by, his draft. Everybody loves both of his drafts, and then doing the things that he needs to do with signing free agents to short-term deals before they turn this around, rather than putting a bunch of money on a Trey Flowers contract. And then it trickles down into Dan Campbell being a leader of men, like we spoke about yesterday, being a guy that's going to get you hype. Again, yes, we need to see it on the field. We need to see success on the field before we can say anything's changed, really. But it's a good start. It really is.
Yeah, the argument going on in the chat right now is about whether Dan Campbell's a decent situational football play caller. And last year, I think you got to take last year with a grain of salt, because I think when you have nothing to lose, you play a lot looser.
Yes.
And last year was just fire every bullet we have in the gun and see what the hell happens. And I don't anticipate him going forward on as many ridiculous fourth downs as he did. I don't anticipate as many trick plays. But now I think people are aware that that's in our arsenal. We can go that route if you want us to, but that's not. I hope that's not our game moving forward, because there's so much risk reward in that I hope we're more into just the reward game now. But if they play like they did against the Rams and come out and empty every tool in the toolbox and try to win every game like that, I'll be happy with it. It's just last year I feel like Dan Campbell was like, you know what? This is a dead year anyways. let's see what happens if we go for it on 4th down right here.
Yes.
If we get it, cool. I learned something. If we don't get it, cool. I learned something. So last year to me was just kind of like an experimental season for him to figure out exactly what kind of coach he needs to be and wants to be. Flannel, you got anything to say about that?
Well, the situational coaching that I think people are referring to, I was bothered with the way he handled the end of the Bears game on Thanksgiving, for example. I don't care about the trick plays. I understand. Didn't have a lot of talent on his team, trying to prove himself. Dan Campbell, though, he's a guy that you hope from first year to second year takes a leap as a head coach, cleans it up a little bit. I personally like the more mature sounding, more subdued Dan Campbell because a lot of the stuff at the beginning in the press conferences wasn't really for me. But yeah, when wins come, that's when S.O.L. will be, I don't want to say vanquished for good, but that's what it's going to need. You're going to need results because last year there was a lot to hang your hat on. They were still 3-13-1.
Well, Dan Campbell doesn't need to be the rah-rah guy this year because we're not as low as we were last year, right?
No, exactly.
Here, you nailed it. What did you say as we're watching the clip? Look at Corey.
Yeah.
Right? Look at the way Corey's evolved from his first Lions camp, the beginning of last year, right? Why can't you see the development all around? It's the same sort of thing as I see in Dan Campbell, right? Confidence,
right?
Understanding who he is, what he has. To me, it just goes to show you that there's a game plan by this organization.
Yeah,
and that is not same old Lions.
Yeah, last year was kind of just like the introduction to Dan Campbell. Like, I'm here, I'm in the room. Now everybody knows he's there. Now it's what are you going to do that you're in the room?
Here's the even more important thing, Stick. It's not about proving it to us. It's proving it to himself. That's what you're seeing is different. I see self-confidence more in what is he tried because he didn't know, but he's put the work in.
Right.
And God, does he look jacked?
You know he had his wrist taped doing up downs
tight
again.
End just in case you see Coach put a helmet on. I mean, he jacked, and I love that. He's invested, doing burpees on the sidelines. You got to love that.
Yeah, and that goes back to being a leader. You know, that's what I was saying. Like, another thing on that checklist is I'm not just going to tell you, I'm going to do it with you. So, hey, you guys do 10 burpees. All right, coach is there doing it with me. I'm more fired up to do it, and that's the guy I'm going to battle with, right?
100%.
Scotty Bowman ever do burpees with you guys?
He didn't need to. He was the opposite. See, there's different ways to go about it, right? He was more cerebral, where I said Scotty made it us versus him, where he insulated and protected us, but we'd be over here going, this mother scratcher. You know what? Like I told you, we called him Rain Man. Not to his face, what are you, stupid? You know, but it'd always be, so we're focused and we get together, so our group, you know, screw that guy. He doesn't know, whatever, like this. And it's all really, he's just like, you know, going,
he's just watching you guys gel as a unit.
Right into my plan. Those guys play right into my plan.
He's out here playing chess, man. Out here playing chess. And it's nice to, you know, obviously it's nice to have a great coach like Scotty Bowman. What's that?
And we're playing Uno.
Well, we're going to talk to Nick Leach coming up next. Shout out to Kate Cam showing up every once in a while. Spence, you're doing God's work today. I appreciate you. And yeah, so we got Nick Leach coming up, and then we also got some more Dan Campbell talk because we were just talking about him coming into his second year, being more confident. And there's a question that Spence posed. Who's got a little bit more pressure on him, Jared Goff or Dan Campbell? So we're going to discuss that coming up. If you want to throw that up in the chat poll to see who has, and then we can address that when we discuss it. But first, let me tell you about Big Boy Ciabattas. I love that commercial where they whispered like this, talking about ciabattas. They got chicken cordon bleu, sunrise ham and cheddar.
Summer salads.
It's summer salads too. You get chicken Caesar, Greek salad, Michigan apple, and it's all going down at Big Boy Ciabattas. Ciabattas.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better 8 Mortgage. Visit us at mybetter8.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
This is the stuff I'm talking about.
We'll hit this later.
Oh
we got to
my
talk to
God,
Leach
you
first,
got
but
me
we'll hit
fired
this.
up.
We'll hit that, D-Bag. We'll definitely talk about that later.
Exactly
Welcome
the
back to
stuff
Big
I'm
D
talking
Energy
about.
on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Sam Stick Day, as it says right below me. Some people like to call me Sam Day. Some people like to call me Stick. My real name's Clarence. If you guys really want to ever file charges or anything against me, that's what you got to do. So we got D-Mac over here to my left, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, and then, of course, Kate Cam is in full effect today. Thank you very much. Let's talk to Nick Leach. Nick Leach is down at the Rocket Mortgage Classic right now. Our resident golfer, they set him up with his own little spot. He's got his own Wi-Fi there. That clean-ass haircut. Look at this guy, man. This is the guy we have to send to golf.
I tried to go say hi to him, but he's got security, too, that he said, no, Mr. Leach's not talking to anybody right now. What's up, Nick?
I tried to make sure. I made sure I told these boys to keep you away from me, D-Mac.
I know you did. You're busy. You're doing work down there. Obviously, I was telling him about. I got out there early for the first tee times. You know, Tony Finau coming off of last week's win. Watched him absolutely demoralize the ball. My boy Grayson Sig, who finished 7th last week, who was telling everybody got a personal friendship with him, and then Donnie Trosper. But wow, isn't it the one thing that really caught me is that over the last, this being the 4th year now, is the way that the, so to speak, village, the way the interior of the golf course, not the way the golf course always looks immaculate, but the way that they've put everything, the suites, all the cabanas and everything in there. What is your perspective when you first walked onto the grounds the other day?
So I walked to, the Area 313 that they have going on here, and obviously that's kind of their signature spot here with 14, 15, and 16. That area, to me, they're almost building that up like it's a stadium, almost like the Waste Management, essentially. I think 15 over there, the par 3. All they got to do is put a grandstand up the left side, and then you're going to have a little stadium atmosphere in there. So the buzz here is pretty good day one. I already saw a lot of fans coming in the gate, which I didn't expect. So I expected to be pretty rowdy here this weekend, especially with we got some good weather. I think it's going to be mid-80s and all sunny. So it should be a good turnout here in Detroit. And I'm looking at the leaderboard right now. I mean, Tony Finau's at the top of the leaderboard. Got a few other names up there: Jason Days, Zach Johnson, Webb Simpson. So kind of all the marquee names right now are up top. So it should be setting up for a very interesting weekend.
Yeah, Nick, this is your first time covering the Rocket Mortgage. I mean, you're down there with Lip and Putts podcast. People can listen to your podcast. You put it up weekly right here with the Woodward Sports Network. So if you guys want great information, make sure you're following Lip and Putts. But what's the experience like down there from just yourself as a first-time person covering it and just the hospitality? How are they treating you? When they hear Woodward Sports, are you getting any dirty looks? Like, do we got to come down there and clean some house, or what's going on, man?
No, everyone's been pretty good. We're obviously again out here in the media tent, so that's a nice setup. You get free food, which I had no idea that was part of the deal. Nice. So you can't beat that. All the drinks you could want, no alcohol. But someone did make a hole-in-one today. So and Mark Hubbard made a hole-in-one on 11. So I don't know, maybe we'll get some drinks later flowing in here. But it's been awesome. I actually was walking around the Pro-Am yesterday. A buddy that I knew was caddying in a group, and it was in the same group as Barry Sanders. So I walked with Barry Sanders and an up-and-comer named Sahith Theegala. He's up-and-coming. He's first year on tour, and I really do think this guy's going to be the next big thing. So we walked around with him for 9 holes, made some good networking moves with him so he could eventually be on the Slip and Putts podcast. But the reception's been good. Everyone's really cool. Barry's was awesome. Walking around the golf course with him yesterday. But D-Mac, I do think you could take him down if you guys were going heads up.
Ooh.
Well, yeah, pretty much. You're right. I like your style. My question being there, right? And news just come out across the ticker a little bit ago. Bubba Watson moving over to the Live. Is there conversation in the media tent or where it's at, sort of business as usual? Is there tension in there? Is it like a don't talk about it, or do people have an opinion? Maybe from the PGA or maybe guys around the players of what's going on?
So Patrick Cantlay was in here, and he's the number 4 ranked player in the world and kind of one of the headlining names here this week. And he was in here yesterday and he did get asked a question. He goes, your name's been linked to Live several times. He's like, do you have any intentions? Like, you haven't really came out and turned that down. Do you plan on going? And he kind of laughed it off, but you can tell these guys don't like being asked about it just because it is, I believe, such a distraction for them when they come to a PGA Tour event. They're surrounded by the PGA Tour. So getting those questions while here in that tent, you can tell they really don't like being asked about it. For me,
I just wanted to make the point of, does the PGA, because to me, if I use the wrestling analogy, it's almost like the PGA is the WWE and the Live is the AEW, right? And when you're supposed to be the PGA or the WWE, the top, the brand worldwide, why are you always worrying about somebody who's not at your level and talking down? I just wondered if so it would make sense, the uncomfortableness, and because the truth of the matter of the question is reality. Every day it seems somebody else is leaving. So I just wondered if the PGA is going on as business as usual, like trying to ignore that, or the real risk, like you said, questions are being asked, it's making guys uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's hard for these guys. Well, it's one for these guys kind of do need to be worried about nowadays, just because you have lost some of the top-ranked players in the world to that tour. So, especially with the majors over now, the FedEx Cup will be settled in just over a month, and after that, there's expected a flurry of these guys to continue to go in that direction. So, that's why the conversation remains kind of at the forefront. That's why you get at a place like Detroit and people are still asking about it. They're not really asking about their thoughts coming in. You do get the questions about the tournament and in Detroit, but that's still the number one topic on everybody's mind right now in the media and across the board. So I would assume these guys know that coming anywhere now, especially like the reporter that asked him the question, and he was like, your name's been linked and we haven't really heard you come out and turn it down. So he was like, he was just pretty much asking if that's something he's going to do. And Cantley did say for now he has no plans to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely been the talk of everything to do with the PGA, and they got to be getting annoyed with that, honestly, when little brother keeps knocking on your door, and it's just like, guys, we're here to play golf. But it's crazy to me that if you just throw enough money at something, it's going to cause noise, it's going to cause waves, and then when you start to steal a couple names here and there, now it's become a real thing, and an actual, will this ever turn into like an AFC, NFC thing? Like, and then we'll have the World Championship, the Live champion versus this one in a final showdown? I mean, will they ever coexist, or is this just going to be, they're going to try to strangle each other out?
Yeah, we had this exact discussion on the episode last week of Lip and Putts, and the PGA Tour formed an alliance with the DP World Tour, which is the.
Nope.
Well, that's a good face.
Yeah.
Screenshot that one.
Guys in the back, clip that.
No, he's back.
Boys in the back.
I'm back. Where what was the last part you guys heard me say?
You just covered this last week on Lip and Putts podcast. You were talking about this.
So we covered that, and then the European Tour formed an alliance with the PGA Tour this year, and then the European Tour just came out and said, these guys, these Live guys can play in two of our events upcoming, which kind of raises questions like, okay, if the PGA Tour and you just formed a greater alliance, why are you letting these guys play now? So I think eventually, I've said it, I think the only way for this all to happen is all these tours are going to have to figure out a way to coexist with each other, because I don't see the Live going away anytime soon, and I definitely don't see the PGA Tour going away anytime soon.
All right, well, that's our very own Nick Leach covering the Rocket Mortgage Classic. You got one more? Oh, all right.
Just real quick. Give me 2 names to watch for Sunday.
Sunday? All right, so I'm going to give you some names. Like, obviously you have your marquee names. I picked Max Homa this week. But there's a name at the top of the leaderboard right now who's sitting tied for second. His name's Ryan Brehm. He is from the state of Michigan, grinded on the Corn Ferry Tour for a long time. I believe he played at Michigan State. That could be wrong, but I'm not sure. But he's from the state of Michigan. There's another guy named Ben Cook, who I actually know personally. He's a Michigan PGA professional, worked at a club on the west side of the state, played the Latin America Tour, but he was the low pro at the PGA Championship last year when Phil won it. finished tied for 33rd, excuse me. So that's another name to watch. So those are two local guys I want everyone to kind of keep a name for. I believe Ben was at 2 or 3 under to kind of start his day. He's only about 6 or 7 holes in. So keep an eye on those two guys just because they are local names and they're from the state of Michigan.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Nick Leach. And if you want to take Nick Leach's advice and you're a gambling man, there's one place for you to go. MyBookie.
Yeah.
Nick Leach, enjoy the Rocket Mortgage Classic, man, and keep us updated all weekend long. And make sure you guys are following Lip and Putts for all the updates, right?
Appreciate you, boys. Yes, sir. You can get that YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, I'll be back out Saturday. I'll look you up Saturday when I get out.
I'll be here all day, D-Mac. Come find me.
All right. I'm going to have to put fish in my backpack, but we'll be all right.
We're sneaking fish in.
Perfect. Love it.
We're going to have him be somebody's caddy. But yeah, if you're looking who's going to win the Rocket Mortgage Classic this week and you want to place that bet, one place to go, mybookie.com. You can go there today and enter promo code Woodward if you're signing up for the first time, and they will hook you up with some free money depending on how big your deposit is. It's depending on how much free money you're going to get. So make sure if you're betting, man, and it's a first-time deposit, you enter promo code Woodward. Also, if you have a gambling problem, call the 1-800-270-7117 Michigan Gambling Hotline. It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, we're excited. It's Thursday. The Rocket Mortgage Classic is in town. So listen, we'll be talking a little bit about that. We've already gave some of our predictions over there at 4:30 at the Woodward Bets YouTube page. You guys got to make sure you check it out. You also got to make sure you check out oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, the best place to check all the odds at the sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, let's get back to some winners. We need to get some winners. We need fun coupons. Let's go with the Indians today. Tristan McKenzie only gave up 1 earned run his last 26 innings. Sounds good to me against a struggling Red Sox team. Oddstrader.com, Woodward Bets. Check it out.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
The Academy of Warren is a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house. Has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field, and can also be used for 7-on-7 football. So the kindergarten to 8th grade, featuring AM and PM latchkey learning, classroom sizes, learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and of course, athletics. So enroll today, academyofwarren.net.
All right, this is about to be a fun conversation. Welcome back to Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. This is not on the prep. This is not something that we thought we were going to talk about, but last night on the heavyweights, which, by the way, make sure you're watching Woodward Heavyweights every day, 5 to 7, right here on the Woodward Sports Network, a Mothership YouTube page. They just got promoted to the Mothership this week, so yes. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
But a debate sparked last night about a little 3-on-3 tournament here at Woodward Sports between the shows, right, Spence?
Yes.
So how'd this go? How'd this start out?
So it started with us saying we could beat the morning show in 3-on-3 because Adam was in the chat a little bit, so we were razzing him up, and it would be me, Chris, and Easy versus Terry, Adam, and Maddie, and we were saying,
that's an easy win.
Easy dub.
That's an easy dub.
And then we started thinking about like the other shows, and we were like, you know, the bottom line would probably be the hardest. We're going to have to double team Braylon at all times, stay attached to Ryan Armani on the perimeter, and just let Maz roam. And if Maz gets the ball down low, we got to go down there and make an attempt at the swat. And then we got to BDE, where we thought that would be, you know, the closest competition. That would be a big fight in there. It would be Neil, D-Mac, and Sam. And we were talking about nobody wanted to guard D-Mac in the paint because D-Mac would be throwing elbows. He'd be dangerous down in that paint. He's somebody nobody wanted to guard. But Easy was talking about his defense, and he said his defense is there.
What? His defense is on his back, rolling around in a friggin' 360, getting sticked, like tired out, just like, what are we doing here? He's not going to line his back. Listen, I got a 3-inch vertical, but I can jump higher than that kid. So, I mean, don't worry. You box him out. Oh, elbows everywhere. Listen, guys, I'm sorry. 90s rules. I played in the 90s. We got 90s rules.
It's true.
Let's do it.
Bill
Sam,
Lambier combat basketball.
Hold on. I got to go to Sam here because Neil obviously is a shooter. Neil's obviously a shooter. I'll do all the work inside, outside. Can you facilitate the basketball, sir?
I mean, I could be one of those bigs who can find the open man, but I
can bring it up court, too. Yeah, I can do it all.
T-Max got handles, baby.
I got handles. Because you come at me, dude. You might get.
So can we throw in more people besides just the main shows? Because to me, if we're having this conversation, Woodward Pistons is going to win, right?
Yeah.
Like Kool-Aid can ball, Jeff can ball, and whatever third person you throw with them would be good.
But what are they doing against me, Easy, and Chris in the paint?
In the paint?
In the paint. That's you're looking at a D3 IM basketball champion. Of the undefeated Mark D'Antonios at Michigan State. I was running point forward. I'd come down with the rebound, dribbling the ball up the court, hitting some seam passes. And Chris, Chris is 6'6". He's a tall guy.
Chris does have size on him.
Hey, there's a good point. Prag made a good point. Yeah, there is fouls in basketball. So I'm good for about 3 minutes before I foul out. So we're gonna need super subs. We're going to need an extra guy.
Well, that's the question. Where the hell do I come in on all this? Because I'm not on any show or anything. I mean, me and Fish got our own little Fish Stick podcast that we do.
Yeah.
So am I a sub in this, or can I put together two more people in the back that aren't already claimed?
You could put together a 2-person team.
So if I take Gentry, I'll take Gentry on my team and
Fish.
Objection. You got to start a show. You got to have a show.
That's
said
true.
the battle of the show.
That is true.
Well, can I go to the original show? Me, Corey, and Joey, because that was the original morning show.
Is that show on the air right now?
No.
Okay.
But we laid the groundwork.
No,
you can do you and Fish. We'll count the Fish Stick pod.
Me and Fish would still smoke all y'all. I don't know what y'all saying.
No way.
Fish just sets a hard pick and rolls to the rim. I'd hit him every time, baby.
Fish setting a hard pick? Oh, man.
Fish just coming in, like, laying the hard pick on you, putting Spence on his ass.
We were talking about, like, what if Fish is the ringer? Like, he's actually got, like, a 46-inch vertical. And he's
he's the professor. Dude, he's schooled by the professor. You know, the kid with all the handle and stuff like this.
He's just a basketball savant.
No, absolutely.
There we go. Murph says Jeff, Gentry, and Stick would be a legit squad. We can't have Jeff because he's part of Pistons. So it would be me, Gentry and either Lentz or Jonah. Andrew Jonah's got some height.
Jonah can ball, too.
Can he ball?
Yeah.
I know he's a swimmer, so I don't know how that translates to, like, other hand-eye coordination sports.
Chill on the swimmer.
I'm not dogging swimmers.
His cardio's good.
His cardio's good. He can get up and down the court, but does that,
It's half court. We're playing half court.
Oh, you
3-on-3. 3-on-3 half court.
See, now the heavyweights rules are getting involved. We're playing half court. You don't have to check the ball. Like it's
3-on-3 half
fat
court.
people basketball. Is that what we're playing now?
3-on-3 is better at half court, anyways.
That is true. Or like at least a condensed court.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'll play full court.
I think we should set this up.
I think you bring hang a hoop up over here in the office, and we can run through all the Lady Jane's people as we're.
I think we do this, man. We set up. We do a four-team bracket with a play-in game.
Oh, for sure.
On each side, right?
Yeah.
So the play-in games will be the shows that aren't on the mothership.
Yeah.
Those will be. Leach. I'll take Leach. Leach, and Gentry would school all you guys.
Yeah.
Leach is an athlete.
What's this tournament called then? Because it's not obviously the champion of shows.
Yeah. Woodward 3.
No.
Woodward 3s.
You guys say everybody's getting involved. There it is. There you go. You can pick it up.
I do think.
Just let me know when Big D Energy plays the heavyweights. Then that's the one game. That's the one game I got.
Is that how we're gonna do the first round matchup? Should it be first round matchup? Because of the 4 shows.
Yeah.
One
seed is.
How
the
are we seeding
line.
them?
1 seed is the bottom.
One
line.
seed's the bottom. So what's the 4 seed?
Oh,
then?
Jonah
4
just.
seed is more
Hey,
show.
listen.
Yeah, that's true.
Guys, Jonah just demarked himself, and he full court is the move. And yes, I'm a baller.
We're taking Jonah. Jonah's a heavyweight on the heavyweights team.
Well, you can't do that. You can't just take Jonah.
He cuts and posts our clips. That's our 4th.
Oh my
What's
god.
he do right now for us?
I don't know.
Big D Energy.
He does the reels.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So Good luck with that.
No, you guys get your core 3. That's it. That's all you get. You can't just keep bringing out
I'm
people.
only playing against
You get Neil, you get Sam. That's your 3.
No.
You said we get a substitute, too.
We're going to need more because I'm only playing against the heavyweights.
That's fair.
Well, then that'll be the first round matchup for you guys.
Yeah, that's the 2 and 3 seed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I mean, we can honestly set this up pretty easy.
Hit up Academy of Warren. They got full basketball courts.
Yeah, let's do this. Joey, if you're watching right now, call the Academy of Warren. Tell them we want to set up. We'll play to what? 21?
You better do it
Just a
before
quick 21?
I get you in the ring with Midwest Scum because
That's
you
true.
ain't going to have any pieces left.
That's true.
I
And we
just
could
know.
do a trios tag team championship.
I just know we were out
would
at
be
the Monroe Street Midway, and when we were out there, Kool-Aid was balling pretty good. Jeff was balling pretty good. I
Those
was
guys
schooling
can
some
ball.
Well, they're
kids.
supposed to. They're on a
Ronnie came out and
basketball
hit a shot.
show.
Huh?
They're supposed to. They're on a basketball show.
Yeah, I know, but still they can ball. I mean, at least they're not out there looking like fools.
Oh, fine, yeah.
You know, like if Nick Leach couldn't golf, he wouldn't be our golf guy, right?
We get cheese nips.
Oh, you can have cheese dips.
Owen's on ours.
Owen's the type of dude that's like too strong for basketball.
But do you know how much girth is on that
Yeah,
team? Dude?
I know,
We are
he's just-
bodying the paint.
But he's one of those guys that just is big and unathletic as hell, right?
I don't know. I think he's athletic.
You think he's athletic?
Yeah, I think he is.
I don't know.
It'd be a shame if he wasn't.
Right. But he's
built like an
we've all
athlete.
played against those guys that are just like built, and then you get them on the court and they're just like somewhat uncoordinated.
Yeah.
Or like when there's a kid that plays in our softball league that's like that, just a house. But when he swings a bat, it's so stiff. It's weird.
Did you guys
Me and
play
Leach
last
were
night?
Tonight we play
tonight?
Space Dogs tonight. Drake Park, what up?
Me and Leach were talking about you in the backstick about how you're the guy that's just like good at any sport. Like you'll just go out there and you'll just be good at the sport when you get put out there.
But not great at any sport. That's my
we
problem,
need a player.
right?
We
And that's-
need a guy.
Yeah,
We need a guy.
If you need a
It's
guy, but that's my problem though. Like I'm never the best on the team. I'm never the worst on the team, but I can play anything.
I'm gonna bring in a ringer.
Yeah.
Like Prop Joe did in the Battle of Baltimore, the basketball game they had in the wire. I'm gonna bring in a ringer. He's gonna be like 6'5", athletic as hell.
Hey, man, I'm always down to hoop. I used to ball at Irma Henderson Park in Detroit back when I lived at the Jeffersonian, and there were some great runs. I was the only white boy playing, and, man, if you school anybody and you're a white boy, you got to talk trash because everybody else let them know about it.
One time playing IM, I was bringing the ball up the court, and this kid was like, to the guy checking me, he was backing off. The other kid was like, he can't dribble, go up to him. I hit him with a, went right by him. The other guy was like, oh, come on. I was like, yeah, that's right. Come say it to my face next time. But me and Easy also talked about doing like 3-on-3 for charity. Like other people bring their 3-on-3 teams, and we do a tournament like that, and me and Easy commentate it.
Well, we used to do a thing when I worked for some local radio stations here. We would take our radio station and we would play faculty at like, spirit days and stuff at other schools. So that was always fun,
Yeah.
to roll out there and take on the faculty, and then you're schooling them in front of their students. But one time we went to, where was it? I think it was Osborne, and they had like some D1, D2 teachers, and they just schooled. They were dunking on us and stuff. We looked like fools out there. But then we play like Clausen and school their ass. Yeah, we got to set this up. Joey, I'm going to text Joey right now. We're going to call the Academy of Warren. We're going to reserve that basketball court, and because we can knock this out in a day, right?
For sure, yeah.
And then we'll have a barbecue after. Let's do some team bonding and do this, because there's going to be what I'm picturing is if the morning show plays together, they're just going to murder each other on the court.
Yeah, they're all going to be yelling at
Adam's
each
going
other.
to throw a pass. Terry's not going to be paying attention. It's going to hit him in the head, and then Adam's just going to freak out and kill everybody.
Yeah.
That's how I see the morning show
That
playing
team's
out.
imploding for sure. BDE definitely has the synergy. That's the thing you gotta look out for too.
I just see Armani throwing it off the backboard to Braylon. Now he dunks, and Matt's just applauding.
Yeah, that's what we said. We said we got to double team Braylon at all times.
Yep.
Stay attached to Ryan at the perimeter because Ryan, we know he's got the strap, and then just let Maz do his thing. If he gets the ball in the paint, we break off of Braylon and go for that.
So, honest question. I know he's your boy. Can Easy hoop?
He didn't give me much confidence. he was saying like, yeah, I'm not really a scorer, but I'm not really a facilitator either. But I got good defense. I was like,
so there's your matchup.
Bum meniscus.
You put Chris on Braylon, you put you on Ryan, and then you put Easy on Maz, and they just stand in the corner.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's a 2-on-2 game actually. Yes. So that's what we'll call it. The Woodward Sports Gus Macker.
There we go.
There we go. Did you guys ever play in Gus Macker tournaments? You're too young. You're too young. D-Mac, you're a pro, so you weren't playing in those.
No, I don't. Yeah, but I'm not. like I said, I'm a facilitator and a rebounder.
It's like the
I don't
Drew
have the skill. The basketball wasn't my game.
We'll call it the Maz League instead of
Not
the Drew
physical
League.
enough.
The Maz League. No, what defunct league is done that we could rename it, like the USFL? Like what NBA? Maz will come up with a league from 1920s that almost made it.
Yeah.
We could be that.
The ABA?
The ABA?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. We'll play with the red, white, and blue basketball.
I got one.
You got one?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll set that up. Thank you guys for talking about this in the chat, too. I mean, this is going to be a fun thing around here. You know, one of the most talked about things that we did a long time ago was me wrestling Easy, and we still haven't done Woodward Sports Fight Night 2. That was going to happen with Cheese Nips and Chris, but Cheese Nips...
No, Chris Platty. Young Sus backed out yesterday. Scared.
So he earned his name.
He's scared, yeah.
He earned his name. Suspect. Definitely suspect. Well, I'll tell you what's not suspect. You want to get in shape, you want to play basketball and all that good stuff and get in shape, you also got to hit up the gym, and that's where Planet Fitness comes in. Not only are they our studio sponsor, but they get you a membership for just $10 a month, and then you can also upgrade to that black card. And if you're a high school student between the ages of 14 and 19, you are able to go and work out for free all the way through the end of August. So make sure you go to Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
What's up at Alta? Uptime matters. Alta Equipment is everything you need to get the job done right. Have a bog project coming up. Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today, 844 go to Alta. That's 844 go to Alta.
D-Mac going in on the chat today, too.
No, just like, if you, seriously, bro, guys, just keep your comments to the sports when you don't know about the way, like, the reality of the world. Yes, Saudi Arabia has oil. They have, let's just say if the PGA has $2 billion, yeah. Saudi Arabia has $20 billion.
Yeah, the way they're handing out checks to golfers already.
No, but you have to look, if you look at the Washington Journal reports and you go do a deep dive, and I'm talking layers of deep dive to where it is, because you want to see, what do we always say about new leagues? How are they going to survive?
Right.
And if you don't care about profit, because that's not your initial, I'm saying 5 years from now, I'm not saying that they eventually won't, but this is burning money.
Right, there's upstart costs. That's part of it. You understand
but
that
it's
going
not
into
that. They don't even care about that.
Right.
This is about making a point of keep throwing money in. When they get to $200 billion, yeah, maybe they might pull the plug if that's what it is. But it's just sorry.
First of all, it's just ridiculous money. I mean, like the amount of money that's out there is insane. But let's get back to talking about Lions football. You know, did you ever end up throwing that poll up in the chat?
No, I could throw it up right now.
So we were talking about Dan Campbell. It's his second year. About the improvement that he's already shown in just his demeanor coming in to press conferences and whatnot, and just how much calmer and more focused he feels coming into this year. But the question is this year more important for Dan Campbell, or is this year more important for Jared Goff? And I think this is an interesting debate. Sam, I want to hear your opinion on this because I always like to hear yours, and sometimes we can go off of that. So yeah, what do you got, Sam?
God, this is so tough because both of them being good, what we hope they could be, is so critical to them making the playoffs and taking the next step. But I'm going to say Jared Goff just for one reason. Because we've built a roster around Jared Goff that actually is pretty good. He's got some weapons. And when he had weapons in Los Angeles, he made it to the Super Bowl. I think that 2018 Rams roster is better now, especially on the defensive side. But that Lions offensive line is elite. The weapons for him to throw to has the potential to be very, very good. And you know that I think very highly of DeAndre Swift, although I don't think he's as good as 2018 Todd Gurley was.
Nobody is.
No, Todd Gurley was amazing back then. But Jared Goff has proven that with a roster around him that he can be at least a very, very high-end game manager. And I think a quarterback is a little bit more important than a head coach, especially with Jared Goff. I think Ben Johnson is going to work with him more than Dan Campbell. And Jared Goff has done it before with a loaded roster. So I'm going to go with Jared Goff. But their success, both Jared Goff and Dan Campbell, is so critical to the Lions' success.
Yeah. What about you, Spencer?
I'm going the opposite. I do think it's Dan Campbell because I think we know what Jared Goff is at this point in his career. I think we know where he stands as a quarterback, but the book is still out on Dan Campbell. We don't really know what kind of a coach he's going to be in this league just yet. So I think, obviously, Jared Goff having success is more important for the Lions, but as a 1A, 1B, I think it's more important for Dan Campbell because he needs to prove that he can be a coach in this league, that he can be a winning coach in the NFL, while we know that at his best, like Sam said, Jared Goff is a very good game manager.
Yeah, see, when I'm looking at this question, my mind kind of goes two ways. And initially I was thinking Dan Campbell, but it's Jared Goff. It's got to be Jared Goff. Jared Goff is playing for the rest of his career this year, right? If Dan Campbell comes out and we have a 5-win, 6-win season, he's still locked into that 6-year contract. He's still going to get another chance. If Jared Goff comes out and lays an egg this year, not only are the Lions not going to re-sign him, there's going to be very few teams in the NFL that are going to want to pursue him in the offseason or even try to trade him for him. So I think it's all on Jared Goff this year because he's playing for literally his football life this year. Dan Campbell, he's still got maybe 2 more years before we start going ape on him if the team is not performing the way it should be. But yeah, that's why I got to go with Jared Goff in this situation because he's playing for his life. If he doesn't get it together this year, if he doesn't put up the numbers this year, if he doesn't get us closer to the playoffs, I'm not going to say playoffs needs to be the barometer this year, obviously. D-Mac, I know you're not because we're still halfway through your clock. Exactly.
I got it back.
But at the end of the day...
massaging the clock. I like it.
There it is. But at the end of the day, if Jared Goff doesn't perform this year, he's out the door next year. If Dan Campbell doesn't perform this year, he's still going to get another chance to prove himself.
Well, you know what? You say that.
Yeah.
You put my clock. I agree with you on Dan
mouth.
Campbell. That's not out. But as far as you're looking to the extended contract, if this year will tell you a lot moving forward if you're going to sink the money into Jared Goff or not, or contingency plan that you really do need to draft a quarterback or trade for somebody.
Right.
That'll be apparent after this season. But again, when you hear Jared Goff talk about getting bigger, faster, stronger, confidence and stuff like this, you have to, at least in my eyes, the way that I do from what I saw with the changes made to the offense for the last 6 or 7 games, that I'm willing to pay attention. That doesn't mean I'm not watching every snap and every play because I do in the back of my mind like everybody else and wait for the shoe to fall. But in the other sense, if I trust Brad Holmes and this is his guy and he's put the faith and he's telling me to trust him, then I have to sit there and be quiet and be patient.
Right, and just wait to see the results. Time will tell.
Big old clock. The big old clock.
Yeah, and with the whole Jared Goff situation, if you heard Dan Campbell talking yesterday, he said Jared Goff is coming in more comfortable in the offense, which to me is just an obvious statement, right? Like, that should go without saying that in your second year, you're coming in, you're more comfortable, you understand the offense, you understand your role a little bit better. So I don't really take too much with that when Dan Campbell says that about Jared Goff because it should be that way, right? And you don't get credit for things you're supposed to do. I think it's Chris Rock that said that. Yeah, I pay my bills. Okay? I take care of my kids. Yeah, you're supposed to. So, yeah, I'm more comfortable coming into my second year. Yeah, you should be, right?
Well, but here, what are we talking about all week? Same old lines? So it should be, but in the past with this team, that's not always the way it is. Developing guys, how hard is it to get a guy to a second contract? Right? It used to be really friggin' hard. I don't think it's going to be that hard now with this regime. So it's who says it, how they said it. It all plays in with the same analogy of, oh, okay, I see the fire, I can see it, but it's a little bit more subdued. Yeah, the heat's hot coming from Dan Campbell, but the heat's in the fireplace. It's not spewing out a bonfire, getting ashes getting on everybody because he knows who he is. So, yes, at the same thing, it doesn't change the fact that if he said he wasn't, that I'm still going to watch. We got to watch the eyeball test. Wait till he starts throwing passes. Wait till this. And then we can break down that he missed the pass in practice and then the end of the world.
Right. Yeah, that's really what I'm looking forward to out of Corey too these next couple days. Once they start putting on the pads, though, is just getting a vibe. Because last year, early on, Corey was saying, yeah, he was missing some open wide receivers. Yeah, he wasn't reading the play correctly. There'd be a guy open underneath, and he'd try to go for the big pass. So I think a lot of that is first-year quarterback putting pressure on yourself, wanting to perform, wanting to make the big play. But you've seen it in this league a million times. The guys that can game manage and then give you that little extra when you need it are the guys that go on to win championships. Tom Brady isn't going to blow you away with athleticism. He isn't going to blow you away with arm strength. What he's going to beat you with is his cerebral, and he's going to beat you with just how calm he is during the game. And when you get to that level of comfort, that's when you can really just be you and be your best.
The separation to the greats isn't throughout the game of not making mistakes. It's not making them at the crucial times. And if you need to make a play, you need to make a throw or whatever, no matter what it is, gets it done. That's why you have to give Matt Stafford the credit for throwing the Super Bowl winning pass to Cooper Kupp because he executed. Execution, that's the difference between failure and success. So the fact that you put yourself in those situations, right? The confidence level, right, early on to explain, well, if you're not confident, then you don't know. You second guess yourself. That could explain. So we'll see that. If Jared Goff's telling me he's confident, show me by making the right read in training camp, by baby stepping it. Again, we still got a year with all the Pistons. The Wings and the Lions are going to be in the same sort of conversation where we still have to see. This is what we're looking for, but we have to see. So if he's saying this is now. I'm not going to say, oh, you need time to warm up. Oh, you need time. Oh, it's only a couple days of practice. He'll find his mark. No, that's not what he is and what he's telling me he is.
Right. The time is now. There is no more waiting.
The time has come to say fair's fair, to pay the rent now, to pay our share. The time has come, a fax of Midnight Oil. What do you want?
No, do your thing, D-Mac. In the chat, we put up the poll, and it's 70-30 right now that Jared Goff has more to prove this year, and that's pretty much the same thing about this room.
Yeah, we had Corey Woods on the heavyweights last night. We interviewed him after he got out of Allen Park. Heavyweights 5-7, by the way. Check us out. We're giving away an autographed Amon-Ra St. Brown helmet. But
good plug.
Yeah, he talked about how not only Jared Goff, but the entire team and the coaching staff is so much further up than they were last year. They're so farther along than they were at camp this time that last year. They just seem readier. They seem happier. They're executing already more than they did last year. So game plan. Yeah, it's important to watch.
Plan. They got people. Right. They got some talent.
Summer salad.
They gotta move it. Exactly.
Summer salads, chipotle. No, it is nice that they have a game plan, man. It's nice that we can go into this off season or go into this season knowing that we're witnessing growth, right? We watched it the entire season last year, got off to a rocky start. Second half started to look a little bit better. By the end, they were looking like an actual competitive, real football team in the NFL. Now that they have that feather in their cap, can they continue with that into this offseason? And I think even though we're 2 days into training camp, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it's nice that they're calm and methodical right now. Like, they're just about their business, and that's what we need to be.
For sure. For sure. It's like you said, we're going to have to wait to see until the pads come on and they start doing actual, 7-on-7s, or they do overs D, whatever they're actually going to be doing, until we see what Jared Goff does. But another year in the system, having Ben Johnson the whole offseason and still his plan is definitely going to make it easier for him to transition into the actual season.
Well, Jared Goff, you got a lot to prove this year. Dan Campbell, you do also have a lot to prove. Maybe Jared Goff a little bit more, but either way, they both got some work to do, and the crazy part is they're tied to each other.
Yeah.
As Jared Goff goes, so does how we'll judge Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell, he could call a great game, but if Jared Goff is missing players, missing passes, it's tough. So Dan Campbell's more reliant on Jared Goff than Jared Goff is on Dan Campbell at this point. So Jared Goff, let's get it, man. We're all rooting for you. I don't think there's anybody here that doesn't want Jared Goff to do well. It's like rooting for the pilot of your plane to suck. Yeah. You don't want that, right? He's going to crash the plane. Jared Goff, he's our pilot. We need him to do well here in Detroit. Oh, hey, what's up? I hate when you do that, man. But, since we got a nice view, might as well enjoy a nice mulligan, right? Gypsy Vodka brings you the mulligan. The drink of the summer is here. Iced tea, lemonade, and vodka all in one. Easy to drink can. 8% alcohol on this bad boy, too. So it's not like you're out there sipping on those girly seltzers. This is a real drink. This is a golf drink. This is something me and D-Mac drink on the course. Well, I drink all of D-Mac's drinks. He doesn't get a chance. He doesn't get a chance to reach in the cooler when I'm there. Sorry, D-Mac. But yeah, we take him out on the course. Mulligan is what you need. Gypsy Vodka. Ask for them by name if they don't have it in a store near you, or just look for it. The Mulligan.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com.
Summer salads and dip shakes, all at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar, all on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Chili Peppers Tanning, for the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans. There's only one place you need to go, and they got locations all over Metro Detroit. You walk in and you walk out a little more tan, and you smell like sweet, sweet coconut. I love that suntan lotion smell, man. Like, it just reminds you of the beach. And you know what? You don't got to get that butt crack full of sand. You just go in, you sit in the hot bulbs, you get your hot deals, you get your dark tan, and you leave. Join the Chili Peppers Club, the Pepper Club, while you're there, too, for great and special deals.
Butt crack full of sand.
Butt crack full of sand. When the people who own Chili Peppers Tanning were in here, we asked them about that. We're like, how'd that come to be? And they're like, well, we found these guys to write a jingle, and they asked us, can we have some fun with it? And they didn't know exactly what that meant, but when they heard it, they're like, yeah, this will work.
Hell yeah.
And I love it. I love when brands aren't scared, because it just says butt crack full of sand, but it's catchy.
Yeah.
And you ever notice that Charmin commercials are just really weird, talk about wiping your butt?
Very weird.
Like they put it in so many different terms, but that it's just bears wiping their butt. It's
got them Charmin super mega rolls.
There you go. Let's stay on the Lions here. There's one guy we haven't talked about, and yesterday, first day of training camp, they said he may have already had the catch of training camp. You got that video, Spence?
I do.
Watch this catch by Quintez Cephus down the sideline. One-handed, and then he beats his defender and the rest of the defenders.
That's Adamanio Memorial too. That's our best defensive back.
And the thing that this video doesn't show is also after this, he dunked on the goalpost, I guess, like T.O. used to do back in the day. So if that doesn't speak to he's back, he's healthy, he's ready to play. But what a one-handed catch right there. For the first day of training camp, that's how you want to set the tone, right?
For sure.
Quintez Cephus, to me, is a secret weapon that we have. I've been a fan of his since he was in Wisconsin. I know I always talk about this, but I play in that Dynasty Football League where we do specific rookie drafts, and he is one of the guys that I targeted and I got 2 years ago. And the games that he played early in the season last year, you could see it. He was going up. He was catching touchdowns over defenders. He was cutting it in front. He was running great routes. Then he got injured, and it kind of obviously held him back last year. But this year, we're bringing Quintez Cephus back, but we also have a much more padded wide receiver core. So where he's going to fit in has yet to be determined. But if you don't know about this guy, go watch some of his film and ask Jeff Okudah about it. Because when Jeff Okudah came out of college, he said Quintez Cephus was the best wide receiver he had to cover while he was at Ohio State. So D-Mac, how you feeling about Quintez Cephus? And do you think him coming back healthy is going to be a major part of this offense, or do you think he's just going to be a cog in the wheel?
I think that's up to him.
Okay.
I think that what he just did right there proves what he can do. He's, you mentioned he dunked on the goalpost, which means he's got hops. You need a guy that can get up like that. But again, this is what's going to come back down to, its availability. If he can stay healthy. Now, the beauty of all the three of the sports teams and the Pistons and the Lions and the Red Wings is if there's competition, open competition, even with guys that have been there. So he's looking to prove himself. Where is he if you're a successful team? It's your number 3. Or maybe, number 4, right?
That's after
what
Jameson
I'm saying
Williams
is
comes
because
back.
if he's effective, he's your possession guy.
Yep.
He does the jumping that Calvin used to do, right? Winston's got to have the speed, and then Ross St. Brown's got to have the possession. Right? So what I'm saying is that, so here it is. He can be a very effective cog in the wheel if he's not. You don't really want him to be your main guy. Right? You want Jamison, you want
DJ Chark.
Right? There's 2. So, but a guy that can sub in third downs, be possession, be big, post up against some of those linebackers, not just over. I mean, it depends on what he's willing to do. Again, it comes down to availability.
Yeah, I really think he has the first half of this season to really prove himself and cement himself in this offense. Obviously, with the Jameson Williams injury and not being able to play after week 7.
Yes.
So, if I'm looking at the depth chart right now, DJ Chark is your 1. You got Quintez Cephus probably as your 2, Amon-Ra St. Brown as your 3, Khalif Raymond and somebody else as your 4, right? You agree with that, Sam?
I don't think Quintez Cephus is a 2. I think Quintez Cephus might be the victim of there's only one ball. Don't get me wrong. He showed a lot in a very short time last season to begin the year. But the wide receiver room is a lot more crowded this year. I think Quintez Cephus is a guy that he might get you the most valuable 500 yards you'll ever see. He might get you like a 15-yard catch on 3rd and 11, but that might be the only time he gets the ball. But also with Jameson Williams, he might not play to start the year. You never know with injuries. I think he's just going to be kind of that jack of all trades wide receiver. If you need him to start, he'll start. There's some games where he might only play 10 or 15 snaps because he has shown promise, but he hasn't proven a ton. But that catch over Amani Oruwariye, that was pretty sweet. And the way he ran away from him, I thought that was even more impressive. I didn't think Quintez Cephus was that fast. And if he is...
Someone commented that in the chat.
Wasn't supposed to have runaway speed.
Angles. It's angles. If you can master angles, you don't... Jerry Rice was not fast, guys. Jerry Rice was not the fastest wide receiver, but he knew angles. He knew positioning. He knew body leverage. So, this whole thing you have to be fast to be a great wide receiver is false. It's completely false. But why don't you think he could be another 2? Because Pistons fan also agrees with you that Cephus is not a 2. When I'm thinking your typical wide receiver offense, you have your 1 that's going to be your stretch the field guy, right? You have your 2, which is your possession receiver. That's Quintez Cephus. He's a possession wide receiver.
It's more because I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is better. I think Jameson Williams is going to be a star.
Yeah, but I'm not counting him now because he's not going to be available to week 7. I'm talking right now if we're starting and you're setting up your Madden lineup, you got Chark, you got Cephus, and then you're going to use Amon-Ra St. Brown as your slot, right?
I mean, I think it's more positionless. I don't think Cephus can be a number 2, especially when there's Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know what you're saying, that Amon-Ra St. Brown is more effective out of the slot, and Quintez Cephus might be kind of that, stretch possession receiver. But Quintez Cephus has not shown enough to be a number 2 wide receiver. I think he would be a number 2 maybe at the beginning of last year when they didn't have the weapons.
He was our number 1 at the beginning of last year.
And that's not a good thing, with all due respect to Quintez Cephus.
That's what I said. It tells you all along where it is. He's going to get the opportunity, though. So you got Chark running deep. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown as your possession, and you got your Cephus, where he's going to make those tough catches, right? You also got Hawkinson. You also there's all these weapons there, so you hope that he gets the opportunity. But we'll see for this team if they're successful. He's not. No, I'm sorry, he's not your top. Maybe before he can prove it, but then you have 4 good guys. You know, somebody brought up. Could you imagine the 5 guys if you could protect your quarterback with the offensive line you have and be able to go five open like you do in Madden?
Yeah,
you got burners on the just with who you got.
Right.
So
yeah, and in the
chat, and time will tell. You know what, Rake? No, first day of camp, get excited. It's been a long time for football. Maybe the 3rd day we don't get excited, but let's blow it out.
I saw in the chat, Jerry Rice, not fast, question mark. If you look up his 40 time, 4.7. Yeah. Compared to any NFL wide receiver in the league now, that is not fast. Randy Moss, 4.2. Calvin Johnson, 4.3.
You brought up a point, though. Now, you said if you bring him up now, where was he compared? What was the average speed of the defense back then, too?
But Jerry Rice will be the first to tell you he wasn't a fast wide receiver.
4.7 back then is a 4.5 now?
Okay, that's still not fast now.
Okay, but I'm just saying.
Right.
Is that you're making it, but it's also, too, so 0.3, and then you add the angles, it makes sense. Angles and ball bearings.
Yeah, Jerry Rice will tell you, his quote was, I'm not fast. I was scared of getting hit. That's why I was able to run away from people. So his 40 time, he said, compared to being chase time, completely different. Yeah. Completely different.
But what I like about Quintez Cephus is, like how you guys are saying, it's, you've got in your wide receiver, you got slot, you got Amon-Ra in the slot, that's covered, but your X, your Y, guys like that, you have all of kind of the same skill set. Like DJ Chark, Jameson Williams, Josh Reynolds, those are your deep threat, those are your, your burners out there. Quintez Cephus, I always bring up Anquan Boldin when I think of Quintez Cephus. Anquan Boldin is obviously like the epitome of what Quintez Cephus wants to be because he was a fantastic receiver. But that type of player where, like you said, possession guy, going to go up, make contested catches, big body guy, not afraid to get physical, runs the intermediate routes. Like that's why I like him. I think he fits very well with the rest of the guys we have on our roster, and he can be that kind of change of pace. Like how you have like a change of pace running back, like what Michigan did last year with Haskins and Quorum. It's like the same kind of thing. You have Chark and Cephus. Like one's going to beat you up, the other one's going to burn you down the field. So I think he fits well.
Yeah, and another thing I think people forget about Quintez Cephus because they look at where we drafted him and think that, you got him in the late rounds. He's not going to be the all-star that he is. But if you go and read the story about what happened to him at Wisconsin, there's a reason he dropped so bad. And it was an accusation of rape by 2 young ladies. It cost him a season at Wisconsin and obviously cost him millions in draft position. And when it went to court, it got thrown out of court by the jury and the judge, who both jury and judge apologized to Quintez Cephus that he had to go through what he went through because these girls said that he raped them and he had proof through text messages and stuff that they were the ones soliciting sex with him. They came over and it was, it was consensual, right?
Yes.
And so I'm a big Quintez Cephus fan because I'm rooting for him as a human being as well. I'm not rooting for him just as a Lions player. Yeah. I think that's tragic whenever that happens to anybody, and it's scary that somebody can just make up accusations and it damn near ruin your life. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he's rebounded, the fact that he's coming back, and the fact that he's ours, I'm rooting for this guy so heavy to be out there.
And if you look at, if you watch his draft video when he got drafted, he lost a loved one right before the draft or the year of the draft, and so it means a lot to him to be in that position, to be drafted, to be ready to go. And I do think he's a guy you want on your team. He is a guy that has a lot to prove. Another Dan Campbell guy, even though he was drafted by the previous regime.
Yeah. No, I think he was a solid draft pick, man, and I'm glad that the Lions didn't shy away from that false accusation. Mm-hmm. That's just so awful that can happen to anybody at any time, anywhere. I mean, you go back to Duke lacrosse and that whole crazy-ass story, too. There's there's plenty of examples of that, and it's scary. But I'm glad Quintez Cephus has been able to recover, get over his injury, doing healthy stuff in practice, and I hope that he gets to prove it on the field that he should have been at least like a second or third round pick. I'm not saying he would have gone first round, not saying he would have gone top 10, but he would have been much higher up in the draft had none of that happened. So yeah, Quintez Cephus making plays day one in training camp. I'm sure Corey will have more videos and all that good stuff about all the good plays that are being made today. And I want to tell you about our friends at SMA, the sports marketing agency. They have come together to help with mental health and substance abuse awareness. So if you're struggling with any of those things, or you know anybody struggling with those things, make sure you send them over to the Sports Marketing Agency. They have a podcast called This is the F Word, talking about how fentanyl is affecting not only Southeast Michigan, but the entire country. So make sure you go check them out, thesportsma.com. That is thesportsma.com.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You know it, you've heard of it. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. Multiple different ways you can play. They have $12 open unlimited play. You can stay there open until close, have a good time. They also have private lane reservation, $120, 10 to 12 people. You get your own lane. You can bring in any type of food you want. And if you get thirsty, they have a $2 mystery beer vending machine. Pop in $2, pops you out a good beer. No hassle, no fuss needed. Know what you want to make a decision. They have multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So come on down to Hamtramck and check them out at the Foaling Warehouse, or visit them online at foalingwarehouse.com. Again, that is foalingwarehouse.com.
Ripping through that read.
Dude,
Don't say micro machines, it's not the real thing.
I could do that in my sleep.
Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule today. Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champ, and about to spend his day on the golf course, looking all smooth today.
No, I was already there on the golf course.
Yeah, you're not going after it today?
No, I got wrestling tonight down in Monroe, IWR. Got the 30-man tag team battle royal, and no, I'm not going to win it, but I'm going to ruin somebody's day.
And if you watch our pregame video on Twitter, you were ruining Fish's day this morning.
Fish is that tough skin, man. I took the sword to him. I tried to give him some tattoos on the head to open him up. The kid won't open up. I'm going to have to bring in some more weapons tonight. I'm going to have to grab a tube or something, work on it tomorrow. But Fish, he's tough. He's resilient.
He is a tough kid, man. We sumo wrestle all the time, and he can take a beating, that's for sure. We got Flannel Salmon here. Spencer is also here. You know what? We've kind of skipped around the 3-on-3 topic, kind of pushed some things down, but I definitely want to talk about Jeff Okudah. We brought him up during the last segment when we were talking about Quintez Cephus and about how he said that Cephus was the best wide receiver he faced in college, which take that the way you want to. Either he didn't face very good wide receivers or Cephus is good. It's up to you how you want to interpret that comment. But let's see. Jeff Okudah is coming into his third year now. A lot of people go back to that draft pick and blame ownership for putting the notion that there was a win-now mentality, so they passed on a Tua, they passed on a Justin Herbert because they felt that they had to replace Darius Slay right then and there to get to that winning spot. Obviously, it didn't happen. Jeff Okudah comes out last year, gets injured, has not really fulfilled his number 3 overall pick. Not sure if he ever will, but that's okay. What we do need out of him is for him to be serviceable and for him to be an actual starter in the NFL. Watching his comments early so far, it's almost been like an ego check to him dealing with all of this coming into the NFL. You know, when you're the number 3 overall pick and you're considered the best cornerback to ever come out, you're drafted almost higher than any cornerback ever, you come with some swag, you come with some arrogance, and sometimes the earth humbles you, whether it be through injury, stuff that's not your fault, or whether it be through just a learning curve that you need to have that, hey, I may have been the best since Little League to college, but now I'm going up against grown-ass men who get paid to do this, and I am no longer the best. I got to make some adjustments. Jeff Okudah seems to be like he's making those adjustments, and he will be a productive member of the Lions. Do you feel that way coming into this season with him? Or is it just a wait and see?
Number one, let's be available. Let's show me that you're durable. Show me that you can get through training camp and whatever. Like Aaron Glenn's come out and said it, that he had a great training camp last year, and when I remember back, I was just as excited. So if you're not going to be available, right, like it's more than serviceable. You got to see what you have. He's got to play 16 games. He's got to be there and effective. You got to find out if he still can be the cornerback after the Achilles injury, or do you have to look at moving him to safety, or do you have to look at moving on from here? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered by this organization, but here's the thing. All these questions that are being asked, guys are going to be able to go out and prove it. So it's not about your final exam hasn't been done and you're getting graded. No, you're going out there to perform your final exam.
Yeah, and I thought Braylon brought up a good comment yesterday on the bottom line when we were live at Les Stanford in Dearborn. And by the way, thank you to Les Stanford for all the hospitality while we were there. What a great event. Checking out that new Corvette Z06. That thing is fabulous. Mm-hmm. But he brought up that it's not only Jeff Okudah's fault. The Lions were putting no pressure on the quarterback, so you're kind of leaving your cornerbacks out to dry anyways. And it doesn't matter if you're Darrelle Revis. It doesn't matter if you're Jalen Ramsey. If you're given 8 to 9 seconds for NFL wide receivers to get open, they're going to get open. So hopefully it's kind of a snowball effect. Like, hey, we have Aiden Hutchinson now. Hey, we can start to put pressure on the quarterback. So now that 7, 8, 9 seconds is going to turn into 4, 5, 6 seconds, and maybe Okudah can cover that amount of time, just not the full length, which nobody can in the NFL because those wide receivers are getting paid too. Sam, do you feel that a change in defensive philosophy or even just getting pressure on the quarterback, you think that will elevate a Jeff Okudah?
Well, of course it will, because he came in as the number 3 pick to a Matt Patricia defense, and nobody succeeded on that defense, unfortunately. And unfortunately, he's also become kind of a victim of being the number 3 pick, because if you're the number 3 pick as a corner, you got to be Darrelle Revis, Jalen Ramsey, Deion Sanders, and he won't be. And then last year, he had a devastating injury, probably the worst you can have, an Achilles. And I think he would have done very well under Aaron Glenn. And while he was out, a guy like Amani Oruwariye became kind of what we hoped Jeff Okudah would be. So now Jeff Okudah is coming in with not as high of expectations. We're praying that he can be the number 2 corner and that he can be a contributing member of the team and maybe lock down some receivers sometime. And yeah, if you get pressure on him like an Aiden Hutchinson, I think Aiden Hutchinson and Charles Harris, they're going to help Jeff Okudah a lot, because yeah, if you have to cover a receiver for 7, 8 seconds, and Matt Patricia's defense never got pressure, it's going to help Jeff Okudah a ton.
Spencer nailed it yesterday on who's his guys to watch, because you guys nailed it right there. If the middle of that line can get pressure, it opens up your guy for his sacks, but it opens up timing. And yes, I don't know, Stick, but I would think that if you gave them, like every other cornerback or whatever, 3 or 4 seconds instead of 8 seconds, it's the ability. Because here's the thing that I love to hear when guys come off injuries or there's expectations they haven't lived up to, what am I hearing self-confidence-wise coming out? And the bottom line is that I believe if we talk to Jeff Okudah, that he's done everything that he can humanly possibly do to get ready and to put everything on the line. So there's some sort of freedom in the fact that you've had all this turmoil. It's sort of like along, if you look at the mini story, but it's sort of along the lines of the Lions, what they're with the greatness and the triumph and stuff. So there's a lot of guys, not just the Okudahs, but guys looking to triumph in their own ways. The little stories of their self-triumph to whatever it may be. Right? You look at where we've seen that. I think Sam brings up a great point that we're all focused on the number 3 overall pick, the number 3, what did we miss? But along the way, what did we develop? Okorie, Jerry Jeudy, who's coming back, who was the best unsigned free agent from last year, voted on and stuff. That's coaching. That means that it's there. So in the whole scheme of things, what I want to, as long as I look and guys are healthy or available, they're going to get hurt. It's 100% injury league. But if we can fade that line and it goes to with the Pistons and the Red Wings or whatever, then we'll know exactly more of what we have than what we don't have. And moving forward, that's what you want to know. You want to know what you lack by seeing what you've had instead of thinking of what you had.
Right. And I think Jeff Okudah last year at the beginning of preseason and going into training camp, he had a very important quote to me, which spoke really highly of the coaching staff that we had just brought in last year. He says, "These guys are putting a lot more tools in my tool bag that I wish I would have had last year." And to me, that just shows that Matt Patricia wasn't giving these guys the tools to be successful. That this new coaching regime is actually offering knowledge, is offering coaching, is offering development. And, when you sit out for a year and you observe, sometimes you learn even more than just being on the field, right?
That's true, too. And one last thing we got to remember, when he was drafted was during COVID, so everything as far as playbook and stuff was done over Zoom. And there's something about being there at camp, being together with the guys. And when you're young, you need that more than maybe the veterans do. So I'm just reading the why. I'm about the why, and this could explain it. So again, if he's available, I think that we got something here. He's one of the 3 or 4 guys that I got my eye on, right?
Yeah.
Because
comeback player of the year. Potential.
If he's more than serviceable, right? More than serviceable, where does this put your team?
I mean, it puts us leaps and bounds ahead of where
we were, what are
where
we
Brad
struggling
Holmes
with, right?
had
We
us
got to
at,
know
right.
if we have the speed on the outside. Then the speed on the outside goes with how the push is up front, how much pressure we get on the quarterback. What system are we going to use? Are we going to sit back in an 8-man prevent and just let everybody run around, throw deep balls? I don't think so.
No.
I think we're going to be a little bit more aggressive. I think we showed.
Well, you heard him talk about it the other day. We're playing with violence now. We're going to violent defense. We're going to bring the intensity, and that's what I love. And hopefully these guys embody that as well as what the coaches wanted. And I don't think these are the type of guys that bring in guys that aren't going to fit the system, right? Like they brought in big nasties, they drafted big nasties, and that's what we're going to get on the defensive end.
Sounds like what Spencer drinks on the weekend. Big nasties.
Big nasties.
Have you ever seen Spence house a beer? Like, Spencer, you are on record saying there is no limit to the amount of beer that you can drink.
Facts.
You enjoy kosher. There you go.
I was at Coonan last weekend or 2 weeks ago with Easy. Brought him in. We were drinking the 9.5% Drippas. I had like 9 or 10 of them. It was a good day.
It was a good day. Going. At what point do you get drunk, though?
I don't know. I get like drunk that I'm like, you feel
before
it a
the
bit,
first drink.
But I'm never like black. I will never ever just black out.
If you stick to beer, you'll be fine.
Yes.
Don't mix up. Don't mix up. If you stay to beer, you will be fine.
I drank 14 bottles at my friend's barbecue the other day, and I was like, fine.
It's just amazing that the stomach can even hold that much liquid.
Yeah.
I'm a liquor guy, so I go hard on the liquor. But I'm like you, like we just go all night, and then the next day I'm feeling it. Yeah. But that night I'm never like just belligerent out of my mind. I can tell when I'm starting to slur a little bit and stuff. I'm like, oh boy, better put yourself in check real quick.
I might grab a water here.
Yeah. Well, as you put yourself in check, I got something else for you guys to check out. Lady Jane's.
Hey,
there you go.
Award-winning haircut experience now gives you an opportunity to register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win the car of your dreams. From Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Yes, the car of your dreams. So get into Lady Jane's today and register to win that car. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. It's wicked awesome. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Be right back.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the bottom line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live. All right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
As my dear friend Fish likes to say it, Odds Trader. That is where you need to go to get your best bet and all the best betting lines from across the entire world. What they do is they scour the internet and find the best lines for you. Sort of like, when you go on those travel sites and you can pick any airlines, they give you the best price. That's what they do with the sports books. They pick all the sports books, show you the line on every single game so you can get the best bet for yourself. And all you got to do is go to oddstrader.com to check it out. Even if you're not gambling today, just go check it out because it's a really cool site and you can download the app. Odds Trader Bet Station for your best bet. Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you guys for joining us, being a part of the chat. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. Also, make sure you download our app, which is free and available for you in Apple or Google Play stores. And everybody that's listening on the Roar right now here in Detroit, thank you so much. We appreciate our radio listeners as well. We do the digital thing, we do the radio thing. We got the visual thing going on. We're pretty much everywhere, so thank you guys for supporting the Woodward Sports Network. D-Mac, what do you want to talk about next, man? We got, you know what? I'm gonna let you pick the topic. Here we go, because we got 4 that we haven't talked about yet. Rasheed Wallace not joining the Lakers. Should the Pistons add him? Are you comfortable with Al Avila handling the roster at the trade deadline? The Yzerplan in full effect. How long until this team is a force in the NHL? Or Ronnie Bell feeling healthier than ever? What is Michigan's ceiling this year? Those are the 4 topics.
All right. We'll get Sammy Flannel. Let's start with, let's start with Rasheed.
Okay.
Let's start with Rasheed, and then I want to go to Ronnie Bell because I think that it's very interesting because he is the man being left off, at least to me, forgetting about him missing last year, that they did what they did without him. How is he coming back? But Rasheed Wallace not joining the Lakers, should the Pistons add him to the staff? Again, what does Troy Weaver say? Right? Like, you got to understand, it's not like we're searching. You have to understand that you have guys, and in the Pistons organization, like if this was like a Tiger pitcher or whatever, like obviously, yes, do whatever like this. It's not going to solve anything. But the fact that it's the Pistons and Troy Weaver along the narrative, if Sheed in helping, why would it help when you say putting the pieces together? Because Sheed was in Memphis with Jalen Duren.
Yep.
Jalen Duren speaks very highly of Rasheed. So I see how it would be put there. If everything meets the same and there is a relationship and Troy Weaver and Dwayne Casey agree that Sheed could help, he's all in, then why not? I mean, it seems to fit the narrative and the pieces, but at the end of the day, you got to ask Dad. And when it comes to the Pistons, that's Troy Weaver.
Yeah, I think it would be a good move for the Pistons, especially since you mentioned just the connection that he has with Duren, right? Coming from Memphis, continuing that coaching, because you saw it in Summer League when Duren was out there. He's very vocal on defense. I think where he picked that up, Rasheed Wallace.
And that's huge for a young guy, but he picked that up exact. So I guess it's in the whole scheme of things of what, but I wouldn't be against it, and I guess I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
Yeah. Sam, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's a good move. I think if he went to the Pistons, because a guy like Marvin Bagley for sure could benefit from a Rasheed Wallace's coaching and maybe learn some of his skill sets. And the fact that he already has worked with Jalen Duren, that's just an added bonus. Because like Rasheed Wallace is a guy that kind of knows him and could get something out of Jalen Duren and maybe make him a pretty damn good center. I'm not saying an all-star, but if we can get Jalen Duren to be like a very good contributor on this team, that is a definite positive.
Yeah. The only other place I can really see him going is maybe Portland to reunite with Chauncey. Like Chauncey loves to get the band back together, so why not go to Portland? Or it's Rasheed. Rasheed can go do whatever the hell he wants. I'm really curious as to find out why he. I don't know if he officially accepted the job with the Lakers, but it was reported he accepted the job with the Lakers, and then now does not want to be a part of Duncan Darvin Ham's squad. That's the question that I really want answered. Why doesn't he want to be a part of the Lakers anymore?
Well, I have a theory, and one of them, and you're gonna love this stick, is that a guy like LeBron James is not. Hey, let me finish. A guy like LeBron James at this stage.
Don't you ever hold your hand up and say, "Let me finish" to me, sir. Oh, go ahead, finish.
Oh, okay, fine. LeBron James at this stage, he's in his 20th year. He is a veteran, one of the all-time greats, but he's also not very coachable. He's never had that coach that has really been able to kind of like check LeBron and his ego, except maybe Eric Spoelstra.
You're not bringing him in to coach LeBron. You're bringing him for your young guys, which is why it would work with Duren. The big thing that I noticed out of anything after I saw the alley-oop that Spenny was going nuts over and between
from Ivy to Duren,
is the vocalness, right? So to me, I think to your point about the direction the Lakers, the fact that they have LeBron, who doesn't need to really listen to anybody, I guess would be where you want to go. My question would be, why did it not work with Penny in Memphis? Why? And you have to put Sheed with somebody that knows him. That's why maybe with Chauncey is a question, but is that what you were?
My point was more that the Pistons have more young, coachable, moldable guys, and the Lakers have LeBron James and probably the least coachable great player of all time in Russell Westbrook. If you're a young up-and-coming coach, I would much rather be on the Pistons coaching staff than the Lakers coaching staff.
Good point. So what about Ronnie Bell? And Quick is healthier than ever this year, or whatever like this. Do you look at him for this roster as sort of people forgetting and that he can be? Because before he got hurt, dude, he was off to a great start
tearing it up
last year. So what does the Michigan fandom say going into this season?
I mean, Ronnie Bell was going to be the number one wide receiver, and Michigan was missing a number one wide receiver last year. And Ronnie Bell, especially if he gets to play in this explosive offense with J.J. McCarthy as the quarterback, who they should start, I think Ronnie Bell could be the greatest beneficiary of that. And he's also very motivated. He had to see the 2021 team win the Big Ten with him on the sidelines. And Ronnie Bell, if you think about it, he's a guy that could have been a missing piece to make the offense a little bit more explosive, to an offense that's already going to be very explosive this year. I cannot wait to watch Ronnie Bell, and I cannot wait to watch this Michigan offense. I'm like shaking in my bootstraps. Let's go.
McNamara back there.
Oh my God! I will lose my goddamn mind.
You mentioned J.J. McCarthy. That was my next question. Is who do you think does who's going to start or whatever? Because it sounds to me like there is a bit of a controversy.
They don't know.
No. But what I'm saying is, what are the expectations? When do you pull the plug on J.J. McCarthy if he does start and doesn't put up numbers? Are you a quick put Cade back in? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to pull your pants down in front of the nation with somebody that a lot of people don't think has what it takes to make that next step? Now, you're not one of them. So, but are you prepared for your boy to do that?
Well, J.J. McCarthy is also the beneficiary of starting the season if he starts with a very easy schedule, so he can kind of get some growing pains out of the way.
If you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one quarterback.
What I'm trying to say, and that's my point, right? Is it better? Because here's the thing. There's so much unknown of going in there. Although the known, I think, that it's not the switch from Cade to do whatever, if he doesn't play well.
Oh, if he comes out and he doesn't play very well and he's a bust,
that better be new information.
Oh, absolutely. If he shows that he's not that guy, then I would be okay with putting Cade McNamara in. But I think he should have a fairly long leash because the schedule is so easy. And I think they could win the first 4 games in their sleep.
To me, the key to the Michigan offense is Donovan Edwards.
Oh, my God.
Donovan Edwards is a dream come true. I love that kid so much.
What's the argument to why Cade McNamara, who did everything above and beyond what was asked of him, doesn't deserve to have the starting role to begin with?
It's simple, because Cade McNamara didn't win those games. Hassan Haskins, Aiden Hutchinson, Dax Hill, David Ajabo, Blake Corum, that amazing offensive line. All Cade McNamara had to do was not crash the Ferrari. And people acting like, and that's okay. But
exactly. So put in the somebody that might crash the Ferrari. Just remember that you might be doing that, and it might do worse.
But the defense isn't as good. They lost Aiden Hutchinson, David Ajabo, and Dax Hill. That defense is a question mark. So I think you're going to need a quarterback that can air it out a little bit more, and an offense that can put up some points, because last year it was just kind of ground and pound and 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and Cade McNamara throwing little 5-yard slant routes.
But that's Jim Harbaugh football, man.
But that's not good enough in this modern era to compete on the big stage with guys like Georgia.
You got a coaching problem. You got a staff problem.
And you're gonna need somebody to air it out when Peyton Thorne and Jaden Reed are connecting for 70-yard touchdowns all game.
That's gonna be a pretty deadly duo. I'm not gonna lie. I predict Jaden Reed could be like a poor man's Jamison Williams with his production this season. He scares me.
Well, Michigan,
dark horse.
Michigan has a pretty cupcake schedule this year, so they should be taking kids to the woodshed, not to steal Michigan State saying. Exactly. But they should.
Michigan State has to play all the big dogs this year too.
Yeah.
Which is
State's going to have a rough year.
They got to play Penn State, Wisconsin, Ohio State, and Michigan.
And not that State got lucky last year, but they won a lot of one-score games, which is going to be tough to repeat.
But their defense is going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, Mel Tucker even said it can't be any worse, like the passing defense. So.
Well, if you guys got any questions right now, make sure you drop them in the chat. We're going to do Ask DMAC coming up next. So just write Ask DMAC, then ask your question, and 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty will answer them for you, whether they're about hockey, life, philosophy, golf, wrestling, whatever you want to ask this man. He is a Renaissance man and has an answer for you. So put that in the chat right now. And I will tell you about our friends at Syntron. It is the summer of Syntron, and right now they are running a special on this limited edition 6-pack with the Red Wings. So go to syntronworld.com right now /Red Wings and order this limited edition 6-pack and keep it with you all summer long. That is syntronworld.com /Red Wings, syntronworld.com /Red Wings. Go get this limited edition 6-pack right now.
Right now.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Hey, summer is coming to an end, and I hate to say that, but I'm seeing back to school shopping and all this stuff. So make sure you do yourself a favor. Get downtown before summer ends and hit up the Monroe Street Midway. They got roller skating, basketball, DJs, art, and so much more. Food, drink. It's so fun down there. We were down there last week. Ryan Armani was popping threes. Braylon Edwards was draining them too, playing some basketball. It's just a good time, whether you're at age 5 or whether you're 105. They got something for you to do down there. So make sure you go check it out. The Monroe Street Street Midway. It's right by Campus Martius on Monroe, downtown Detroit. Make sure you go check them out at deckedoutdetroit.com. That's deckedoutdetroit.com. It is now time for my favorite part of the show because I get to know a little bit more about my friend.
Can I just say, Joey 2 times, absolutely, I'd produce that show, Unprovable Hypotheticals with Brandon Katz. Oh, make that kid a star. He's I would executive produce that. It comes
who couldn't stand that show is Adam. Adam would hate that show.
Unprovable
hypotheticals, just a bunch of hypotheticals. Hey, that's not happening.
It'd be unbelievable. Anyways.
So thank you guys. This is Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. We do Ask D-Mac at the end of every show because, listen, I'm just like you guys. I'm a fan. I never thought I'd be sitting on the same desk as Darren McCarty, being able to ask him about hockey and life in general. But let's do this. From GW the Kid, ask D-Mac, what fingers do you have your championship rings for? So you got 4 of them.
Yeah, but
so the
I
ring.
can wear them on these 4. I usually don't wear 4 at a time, but if I had to, they will fit. I can't look. That's
how often have you worn all 4 at the same time?
Maybe 4 times.
Dude, what a flex! What a flex, man.
Maybe 4 times. They can fit like that, but usually you wear 1 at a time. But But this finger is the same as this one, so it's only the one that's broken that you got to get it by the knuckle, and I believe that's the 0-2 one.
Okay.
So.
So
many decisions.
Yeah. Oh, which ring do I wear? Which championship ring do I wear?
Which finger?
D-Mac, Ryan Lentz wants to know who your favorite Star Wars character is.
Oh, Mando.
Mando?
Mandalorian.
Nice.
Mandalorian.
How about old school one? Like OG one?
Chewbacca. Yeah, exactly. Growing up. And Han. Chewbacca and Han.
I like this question from Honolulu Blue Sparty. D-Mac, who on the current Wings roster reminds you of you?
Right now, Giovanni Smith. We're a guy that can. The big thing is you got to be able to skate in this league, and he can skate. So it's about he's a guy who's going to be fighting for a roster spot. But the game's evolved, so it's sort of like to be the hybrid. But you got to bring. You want somebody that can play. And the different, be your 10, 12-minute guy, but it's sort of have that growler on the end of the bench, right? That's the biggest thing with the Wings is that what will be the eyeball test when you see it is the size of this team. And it might not be this year, but next year with the guys that they've added, they're men.
When they get off the bus.
They're all 6'3", 6'4".
That's right.
Right?
I'm a man. I'm 6'4".
I'm 40.
40. Off the Chain is asking, and I kind of want to 2-part this question too, off of his. Your favorite fight in the NHL?
Well, the second Lemieux one.
The second Lemieux?
The one where you see in the video where we fight off the draw.
Yeah.
Because they actually get to exchange punches. And
what did you guys say to each other before that?
No, he didn't say nothing. I said it all.
What did you say?
Everything you're not supposed to.
Okay.
I mean, every racial, every derogatory French comment about, every family.
Baguettes suck.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, you're not supposed to do that either.
Okay, and the piggyback I want to off this question. This is my question to you.
Matthew Barnaby in Colorado when I split him for 25 through his face. That was another good one.
So who's your favorite fighter of all time, besides yourself, obviously?
Yeah, my favorite fight, Proby.
Proby?
Yeah, Proby's always the king because you and here's the one thing people don't realize is if you're going to get Proby, you might get him early till he realizes he's in a fight. But just the size and the endurance and just he could go forever. So
yeah, those Ty Domi fights used to be something special back in the day.
Well, that's the whole thing. And then Ty Domi, dude, and to hear Joey talk about after that fight in New York, the ice bags on Ty's and the welts that Proby gave on his hit him 55 times.
I like this question as well from 8'4" par. Does D-Mac have any valuable Red Wings memorabilia besides your championship rings, obviously?
Yeah, no, I got the jersey, the stick, and the puck that I scored the 97 Cup clincher with.
Okay.
It's put away. That's probably the number one thing. A lot of the different things that I have is that I hold dear is the picture of me, Drapes, Maltz, and Ozzy in front of Lenin's tomb when we went over to Russia and stuff, and Me and Shanny on the tarmac at Reagan when we went to visit the president. I'm sitting we're sitting in the police bikes, and there's a sidecar, and he's in the sidecar with me and stuff. We're booting
Who was the
around.
president at the time?
I got 2 Bushes and 2 Clintons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clinton had a lot of Bushes.
Yeah.
All right, and from Steve-O Baby, ask D-Mac, Darren, weren't you in a rock band?
Grinder, baby.
Yeah,
Grinder's
and they're back,
baby.
right? They're
Stay
back.
tuned. Grinder, the band. Check them out. We are back playing. I can't announce, but we got a whole bunch of, I think we just added 6 new shows, so coming your way.
God. Ryan Lentz with the most basic interview question that I think every interviewer has ever asked any celebrity. So who is the most famous contact in your phone? Like, I've been on the radio forever, and, like, honestly, we used to make fun of jocks who asked that question.
Zach Wilde or Chris Jericho or...
You got Zach Wilde's phone number?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, that's my boy. Dude, come on, man.
I saw him play at the Jimi Hendrix
Hey, how about this one? He's coming. Do you see they put Pantera back with Zach Wilde lead guitar playing it? And, so excited to see that.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Darren. Another great show out of you. You're off tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir.
Where are you going to be tomorrow? Just hanging out?
No. I will be in Armada, I know, for Coliseum Bike Night. Tonight I'll be down in Monroe, IWR. Saturday night, XICW, downtown Detroit. I will be back. Hopefully you'll see some of me Monday and Tuesday. We're going to implement a Where's DMAC, but I got some stuff to do. Probably not back here till Wednesday, but guys, have a great weekend.
Yeah, you're a man in high demand, so we appreciate you, DMAC, and everybody for being a part of the chat.
That was a good pun.
Yeah.
I'm never in high demand. I'm always fully in demand, just like medicated.
Have a great day. We are out. Big D Energy back on tomorrow. It's going to be me and Jeff tomorrow, so that'll be a fun show.
Juicy.
Can't wait to talk some basketball with Jeff, and we can bring up that 3-on-3 comment again. So we'll talk to you tomorrow. Big D Energy. We are out. For Flannel Sam, for Spence, for D-Mac. My name is Stick. See you later.
Deuces.